Smart designers are asking, where do I do my best work? And then they're building a team around that. And that team is not necessarily in-house, but a trusted network that allows them to offer a seamless, high-end service without burning out. Collaboration is how you grow smarter, not just busier. And it's not about handing over control. It's about making space for excellence in every part of the project. There is no better feeling when a client comes to you and you know that they are going to need more than what you can offer to them in their project, and you are able to confidently suggest and make introductions to builders, architects, engineers, other interior designers who might help with different parts of the project, stylists, landscape designers, landscape architects. When you have that team that you have built up around you, it is showing your authority in the space. Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Thursday episode of the Design Dialogues podcast. And I am so glad to have you here with me today, and I hope that you enjoy the episode and you find it helpful. So today I am talking about one that is really important when it comes to thinking about sustainable studio growth, and that's collaboration over competition. And no, I don't mean coffee dates with other interior designers, though they are great too. I mean intentionally partnering with people who can help you deliver better work, lighten your load, and elevate the client experience. Because if you're trying to do everything in your business, concept, documentation, styling, sourcing, installs, admin, and project management, you are going to be exhausted, you will burn out, and the quality of product that you'll be delivering to your client is not going to be 100%. So why is collaboration not a shortcut, but really a studio strategy? And this comes down to thinking a little bit about what a multidisciplinary large firm would have in their employees. They would have designers who specialize in concepts, and then some that specialize in documentation. They would have architects on staff. They would have a panel of engineers they would work with. They would have builders. They would have admin. They'd have a finance team. They would have a creative director who is helping set the concept and direction. There are so many people who go into a project when you think about a large-scale design firm. And today's episode is really thinking about that concept of a large design firm and all that that offers to a client, and how you can replicate that as a solo business owner or even a small business and still deliver an amazing experience to your client. Smart designers are asking, where do I do my best work? And then they're building a team around that. And that team is not necessarily in-house, but a trusted network that allows them to offer a seamless, high-end service without burning out. Collaboration is how you grow smarter, not just busier. And it's not about handing over control. It's about making space for excellence in every part of the project. There is no better feeling when a client comes to you and you know that they are going to need more than what you can offer to them in their project, and you are able to confidently suggest and make introductions to builders, architects, engineers, other interior designers who might help with different parts of the project, stylists, landscape designers, landscape architects. When you have that team that you have built up around you, it is showing your authority in the space. It shows that you're able to really help these clients deliver a project of the caliber that they are wanting to. And it just makes your business run more smoothly. So think about some of the types of partnerships that you could be working on. And these kinds of partnerships are helping designers grow lean, profitable studios that deliver big results. Now, some of these are going to seem really obvious, and some of them you might be like, oh, I'd never thought of that. So the first one is design and documentation. So this is a really common collaboration, but it might be that you have two interior designers that collaborate, and one is the master of the big picture and the concept phase, and the other is the master of the detailed CAD drawing sets, compliance documentation, all of that. This is such a great collaboration. I personally hate documentation. I'm not very good at it. I take way too long to do it. And I have collaborated with a couple of people who mean that by collaborating with them, it really allows me to take on more design work because it frees up my time. It also, I know the standard of documentation that I am producing is much better. So it saves me so many hours, and it really does ensure that nothing gets missed. It also allows me to stay in my lane, which I am much better at. I am more productive, and therefore I am making more money when I'm doing that. The next one is also not very new: design and build collaboration. This isn't new, but the way it's being done is changing. Instead of being brought in late to a project, and we've all been there, designers who are building relationships with builders and developers who value design input from day one are reaping the benefits. This shifts the role from decorator or last kind of minute person to bring in to kind of tie it all together when all the decisions have really been made and the impact that you can have is limited. It changes to you becoming a key consultant, and this often opens the door to higher fees and much better outcomes. If you have built strong relationships with a builder, it works both ways. It means that when you are getting to the point in your projects where you need to have them go out to tender, you know that you can confidently have maybe 3 or 4 builders that you would have on your panel that you could go out to. They understand your work. They understand the standard that you will require for your client. It means that there is less backwards and forwards. They understand how to read your drawings, the nuances, your FF&E schedules, all of that kind of stuff. But then in the flip, it means that if a client goes straight to the builder, and the builder is the first point of contact for the client, the builder knows that they can come to you. You already have that working relationship, and they know how you work. And it means that they are not going to bring you too late in the process. So developing those relationships with builders is key. The other one that also is great that comes into kind of a similar category is architects. If you are not building strong relationships with architects, then you are missing out on a key referral partner. And I have spoken about this numerous times on the podcast before, but I really, really, really encourage you, if you don't have 3 or 4 architects in your area that are referring you work that you have a strategic relationship with, I encourage you to do a quick Google search, Instagram search, and find 5 or 10 architects in your area that you could start developing that relationship with. The next one is design and project management. Now, for many designers, juggling trades, deliveries, and timelines is the most stressful part of what we do. It really is a very different skill set to interior design. And if you're not naturally wired for Gantt charts and site schedules and all of that kind of stuff, I would really consider making a strategic partnership with a freelance project manager or a site coordinator. It allows you to keep creative control while ensuring the execution runs smoothly. and the clients just love the added professionalism. So have a real think. There are lots of, private project management firms out there, or sole traders who do this work, and they're a great person to have in your team. The next one is design and styling or procurement. Maybe you are a designer that really loves the technical side of interior design, the drawing, the making sure that everything works in construction and all that kind of stuff. But the final styling and install stage is not what you love doing. It doesn't light you up. Being able to bring a stylist whose aesthetic aligns with yours is so key. And I work with several designers where this is their specialty. They come in and they do that last layer on top, which is, we all know, so important to really bringing a project together. So being able to show your clients that you have one skill set, but you're able to bring on another designer who will help do that other area is so important. And this is one that I think is really key when we think about a larger interior design firm, or a combined architectural and interior design firm. So often in those firms, there will be a designer who works on the FF&E schedule, the design side of it, while there is another team of designers who are working on the decoration and furniture and styling side. So it makes total sense to have those key collaboration partners. Knowing your strength and knowing when to bring in reinforcements is where your maturity as a studio leader really shows. You need to be brutally honest with yourself when you're thinking about this. What do I love doing? What do I do really well? And where am I just winging it to get by? That self-awareness is a superpower, because when you know your strengths, you can design your business around them. And when you surround yourself with experts in the areas you don't love or aren't trained in, the quality of the work goes up and your stress goes down. Clients don't expect you to do everything. In fact, when you say, I work with a trusted team of professionals to deliver this, it often builds more trust, not less. Now, collaboration is brilliant, but only when it's structured. It can very easily get a bit murky when it isn't clear about what everyone is doing. So here's some things to keep things clear and professional. Clear scopes. Be crystal clear on who's responsible for what. Avoid the "I thought you were doing that" trap. Aligned values. Work with people who share your standard of communication, quality, and follow through. And written agreements. Even with trusted collaborators, confirm roles, timelines, fees, and client-facing protocols in writing. You want your collaborations to feel seamless to the client, a united front, not a disjointed experience. And if you're ever unsure, start with a small project, trial the partnership, see how it feels, then build from there. This episode is really about working smarter, not smaller. You don't need to grow a big team to grow a big reputation. You need the right support, the right partnerships, and a clear understanding of where you bring the most value. So ask yourself, what do I actually want my role in the studio to look like? Who can I bring in to help deliver an even better service to my clients? And how can I start building those relationships now? Because collaboration, when done well, doesn't dilute your offering, it amplifies it. Thanks so much for tuning into this Thursday's episode of the Design Dialogues. I hope you enjoyed it. If this episode has you rethinking how you structure your projects or how you want to grow your studio, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Send me a DM or share it with a fellow designer who's ready to do things a bit differently. And if you're looking for tools to help systemize your studio or build a smarter workflow, check out my website for templates, resources, and support made for interior designers just like you. Until next time, keep designing, and I'll see you for our next Design Dialogues. That's it for today's episode. I hope this gave you some fresh ideas and motivation to refine how you run your studio. But here's the thing, having the right strategies is one thing, actually implementing them is another. And if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just unsure where to start, that's exactly what my Systems and Processes Health Check is for. It's a one-on-one deep dive into how your studio runs, pinpointing where things are working, where they're not, and giving you a clear roadmap to streamline your processes. And the thing is, my health check is different from other mentoring out there. We don't just talk, we put together clear, actionable items that I hold you accountable for, because I want to make sure that at the end of the health check, you see a real difference in your business. Imagine having a studio that runs smoothly, where you're in control, and where you can finally focus on the design work that you love. If that sounds like exactly what you need, head to the website to book in your health check today. Thanks for tuning in, and if you found this episode helpful, share it with a fellow designer who could use these insights too. See you for our next Design Dialogue.